What's up, people? Welcome back to Standard Living. Well, today's supposed to be a sawmilling day, but plans change as usual. We got some weather come in. It was raining pretty hard earlier. It's kind of calming down now. And we got up this morning with no power on. So we were out of power for most of the day this morning. So we're running off the generator and had to make generator coffee. Had a few curveballs thrown at us this morning. So I figured I'd get a little maintenance done instead. I got on the skid steer this morning and it wouldn't crank up as usual. It's not a dead battery this time. It's the battery terminals. I've got to get that fixed, but I don't have any more battery terminals, and I'm not going to town to the auto parts store to get any more crappy battery terminals. I ordered a really good set online on Amazon, so some heavy duty ones. Hopefully they'll be here in the next day. We'll get that fixed. Today I was supposed to be cutting some poplar for a shop build for some board and batten siding, so 1x12 poplar, but I've got a couple of logs sitting down there right now I need to cut up, and it's a little muddy down there at the sawmill, and I can't get the bobcat started, so we're gonna change plans and we're gonna go get some firewood today and do a little bit of maintenance around here. So really the reason that I'm always having battery terminal problems is the battery tray got rusted out down here and kind of fell apart. So the screws that hold the battery down, those things are missing. So the battery bounces around in here, flops and stuff, and hits the door, I'm sure, and everything else, and it breaks the terminals. I don't know if you can see that. The bolt's already pulled all the way through. I can probably get a bolt, get a washer on the back side of that and pull that down tight just to use for now. But I really need to fix the issue here because the battery moves around. That's why my terminals are always bad. But anyway, we'll probably put a new battery tray in there with some bolts, something to hold this battery secure, because that is what's tearing up this these battery terminals. And this one on the back side is the one that always breaks first because it probably comes back here and bangs on the door and stuff. But that's the only maintenance this thing really needs right now. I did just change the oil in here, 993 hours, and right now it's at 1010. So, you know, roughly 20 hours ago. During Hurricane Helene, we had quite a few trees on the back of the property go down. A couple of them were red oaks and white oaks. I don't know how I missed this one. We got a little road that runs around the property line, and my son was wanting to ride his motorcycle around it, and he found this huge tree down back there. I didn't even know, I guess I hadn't been around there in a while, but I rode back there and saw this white oak. I got one good section cut out of it. I just went down there to pick it up. I was gonna go get that this morning, but the bobcat won't crank up. But there is a ton of firewood on it because it's got a lot of limbs. We're gonna go harvest that firewood today. It's a little rainy anyway. I don't think we'll have a problem getting back there. I did put my new used mud tires on the truck. Normally it wouldn't get back there. I'd get stuck coming up and down that hill. We're gonna do that. We're gonna go gather that firewood up. I got the chainsaw sharpened up because I think we have some cold weather coming and we're gonna need that firewood. And I'm about to tell you guys what the winning answer is for what are the 3 most useful sawmill tools I have around the sawmill. Stuck trying to get out of here. I should back in there. I didn't record all that coming up here because I had to back into the woods down this little road. It's pretty wet. We got a pretty good rain this morning. It's still raining a little bit, but not too bad. Hopefully the truck don't get stuck trying to go out of here. I think if I add some weight to it, like logs or firewood anyway, I don't think we'll get stuck. So this right here behind me is a white oak tree. This came down during Hurricane Helene. We have several around the property like this. It's a pretty good sized tree, but I'll give you a size comparison. See how big it is? We're gonna get what we can out of this section here. And I've got a section down here. I'm gonna try to get something out of that too. I wish I'd have cut it back a little bit more, but I think we'll get 8 foot of that out of that at least, or 9 foot. This section here, I think I cut it 14 foot long, but it does have a few knots, which is not really gonna be a big issue. I think they'll just add a little character to it. But I know we still have probably 10 to 12 foot of clean wood right there. Got these big limbs. Now that limb right there is every bit of 10 inches right there on the butt side of it, and it's pretty long. We have all these over here, so I took a little pine out right there too. But there is a ton of firewood on this thing, and look at all these limbs. These are all, you know, 6 to 8 inches, and they're everywhere, and they don't have many knots in them, so they'll be easy to split. What I'll do, I'm gonna start working my way from the top down, cutting this thing into firewood. The reason I'll work on this top side and work my way back, that way it's off the ground. So as I cut each section, it falls. If I cut it up here first, the whole thing's gonna be on the ground, and I'll be hitting dirt and rocks. So that's a little tip. Cut from the top down, then you're not cutting on the ground. And if you watched last week's episode, you'll see where we had a little contest. If you could comment and tell me what are my three most useful tools on and around the sawmill, and you get it right, you win a sticker. So if you didn't catch that, go back and watch it and comment. Okay, back to the answer of my 3 most useful sawmill tools that I use, that I think, in my opinion, are the most useful tools I have. And I'm sorry to say that nobody got it right. You got it partially right, but not all the way right. Number 1 is the bobcat. Number 2 is the log winch. And number 3 that nobody figured out, I figured somebody would figure this out, but my pry bars. I'll have to show you those when I get back down to the sawmill. But those 3 pry bars I use behind the backstops and in front, and just to pry logs over to the backstops. Those things, I use those more than anything else on that sawmill, and nobody got it. If you go back and look at my videos, you'll see me using them all the time. Sometimes I cut those parts out, but a lot of times I don't. They're always in there. So nobody got that right. But if you still want a sticker, comment sticker down below and I'll send you one. We got the gas sawed up. Got my gloves. Put that in the truck. Oh, check this out. You know what that is? That is a spot metal detector. I gotta put a battery in it. I just got that in from Temu, of all places. We do a little bit of gold panning around here, and put this in the truck, so when I see rocks and things that I think may have some gold in them, I can kind of test and look, use that. And I'll tell you some cool information you might not know, or you might not care about. The gold rush started around 1829, and it actually started here in Georgia. And our property and this whole area is one of the old gold mine areas. So there's tons of it around here. It is hard to get. A lot of it is in the quartz, but we do find it in the creeks and rivers around here, and we do go panning and stuff. So if you'd like for me to record some of that footage, I'd be glad to. If you're into that kind of stuff, let me know in the comments. I'll start doing some gold panning videos right from this area. All right, let's get some of this firewood cut up. I really should have chose a lighter saw for cutting firewood. That 311 is heavy. Whew, man, that thing will wear you out. Should have grabbed a little Echo or something, or a little Steel 210. Gotta get that battery terminal fixed on the Bobcat so I can move this stuff. Sure would make it easier to go all the way around this place instead of trying to back into some of these places. Well, something I did just notice while I stopped and looked up for a second is I've got a dead standing pine tree there. I need to cut that thing down before it falls on somebody, or before the wood inside of it's no good to cut. Because right now, I think I can still get some wood out of that thing. And does anybody know what kind of tree this is? It's a big girthy one. I'll show you the leaves. Think you can tell me what that is? Let's see what kind of tree knowledge you guys have. Tell me what kind of tree that is. I'm gonna show you a nice cedar I have down here. I contemplated cutting it down, but I kind of hate cutting cedar on our property. We don't have that many left around this area. Not any of the great big ones and really clean ones, but I've got one right here I wanted to show you. There it is right here. Look at that beauty. Nice, clean, straight, solid. Well, solid so far. It might have a hole all the way up the middle of it, you never know. But that's a nice one there. It's about 18 inches on the bottom. But this is a nice, clean, straight one. Pretty tree. I had a few white oaks over across the dam at the pond, and we pulled some of them out, sawed them up. I think I made a video of sawing some of those. But got a few more to get out of here. And in the middle of the woods here that doesn't really have road access, there's a few down. I gotta get down there and pull those out. Try not to make this into a poo video. What kind of poo you think that is? Coyote? Huh. We got a lot of coyotes in this area. I'm guessing that's what that is. We had a couple years ago, I kept seeing bear turds up near the field. Haven't seen any lately. And just to show you, this is why this big white oak come down during Helene. Look at the size of that trunk. Look at the size of that hole. Man, a person could have got in there and made a little fort. Now it's all the way over there now because I pushed it with a skid steer. It was still on the stump here, but I got down here and rammed it and pushed it and got it knocked off the stump, pushed over there out of the way. I was trying to push the whole tree, but no way that little bobcat will push this thing. Look at the mess. That thing has a huge top to it. Look at all that firewood. I don't think we're gonna get all that today, but we're gonna get enough to burn for a little while. It's gotta dry out a little bit anyway. But we're gonna get it split up and stacked. I've got some slabs up there I've been burning, but it's been back in the 80s, so we hadn't really needed firewood here in the last few weeks. I'm gonna get some of this loaded up. I'm getting hungry. My belly's telling me it's time for lunch anyway. I'm gonna load some of this firewood and get back to the house and eat something. And I'm almost ready for some cooler weather. There, we got enough firewood for right this moment. We'll come back with a smaller saw and finish this out. That saw right there, my back hates it. I'm not getting any younger. I don't know how many of you feel the same way about that, but it's not being lazy, it's just being smart, I guess you'd say. We used to cut firewood with my dad when I was a kid, and we used to hate it. We were just, man, we were ungrateful little shits when it comes to warming the house. We hated doing firewood because we knew we was gonna be loading firewood all day long. And it was usually raining because my family was in the logging business, and when it rained, they didn't do any work. So when you're down from your regular work logging, we're out in the woods cutting firewood for the winter. And man, I used to hate this stuff, but nowadays I realize what an asset it is to have woods you can go into and find trees like this right here that's not completely dead. You can cut up into firewood pretty much anytime you want to. So I really appreciate it now, but I need some more kids out here doing this because my dad was smart when it comes to that. The sun's starting to pop back out. We're gonna see if we can make it back out of here and up that hill. got a little bit of firewood built up. I need to cut all this stuff up now. I got these slabs too, these red oak slabs, and they made awesome firewood. We gotta definitely get back there and get more of this stuff though, where the cold comes. I just got another little package in the mail. I want to show you guys this. It's a package from Temu. Now they have some crap, I know. It's kind of fun ordering junk from there. It's really cheap, but I want to show you what I got here. I think this was the free gift they sent me. Yeah, this don't work good with my stupid finger. This is a deformation meter. It's weird. So this is a little cheap chainsaw sharpener, like a little diamond wheel sharpener. I don't know how well it is. Dang, I need my knife. Oh, there, look. Let's just open it this way. But I'll tell you a hint. If you go on Temu and you play their little stupid games where they give you percentages and everybody wins, don't let it fool you and think that you won something and nobody else did. But if you go in there and play those little stupid things, you always get these discounts. And you can choose items and put them in your cart. And if you play and get on there enough times, they'll ship it to you for free, like a free gift. So this was a free gift from Temu. It's a little chainsaw sharpener. We're gonna try this out on an Echo chainsaw. See if it's any good. Here's instructions. I can obviously read that. Don't forget that Temu tip of the day. Go put some of this cheap crap in your shopping cart and just keep it there. And keep playing them little stupid games every once in a while when they send you a text. And eventually they'll send you stuff out. That's my Temu tip of the day. All right, we got the old Echo here. Try this thing out on the chain. I'm gonna try sharpening all the teeth with it and we'll see how well it cuts. Then we'll decide whether it's crap or not. See, this side doesn't hold in the same. Let's do the other side first. I think I'll have to readjust it for the other side, so that kind of sucks. Who knows, there might be a cool little tool. I still think a file is quicker, honestly. Because if you got a good chain, then, and you keep it filed even just a little bit every time you use it, and stay out of the rocks, it makes it really nice to sharpen. Simple. I think my bit's wearing out too. My diamond bit. It's got some glossy on there, you see that? Yeah, I think it's about done for. All right, so no more fooling around with this junk. Maybe I'll make it work on something somehow. Put a drill on it and use it that way. All right, so don't buy that. That's junk. Don't spend money on it anyway. If you get it for free, maybe it's cool. Maybe you can get it to work right. So I guess today's video is gonna be a day in the life of me babbling and doing dumb stuff. Just got a message from a guy. He needs 1x8. He needs about 40 inches. A 1x8, 40 inches of 1x8. I think I already have some here cut. Let's see real quick. We're gonna double check. Yeah, I definitely got 40 inches of 1x8. Yeah, we're good. Yep. All right, I'll let him know those are already ready. So he only needs one. At least we're making a few bucks today, although we're not sawmilling. It is Thanksgiving week though, so we just had to run all the way to Pennsylvania and pick up kids and doing the kids shuffles this time of year. Went to Pennsylvania and back in 2 days. So that was a long drive. Yesterday was supposed to be work, but it was more of a recovery from a long trip of driving. However, need to get started on my poplar, cutting some 12-inch wide cants and getting as many 1x12s as I can out of these big logs. That one's pretty darn big, so we gotta get plenty out of those. But I was looking at this maple and man, that stuff rots fast. Look at that. It's got all those little scalloped mushrooms or whatever on them. They're all over the stuff. Some of this bark, I mean, this tree's not very old. It's been down less than a year and everything's starting to rot on it. So I gotta hurry up and get those cut. Now, this is my old 98 model Dodge Ram. And if anybody else has Dodge Rams or familiar with these trucks, you'll see the dashes. It's like made out of potato chips. I don't know where they were thinking with this stuff. Anyway, it's a piece of shit. But anyway, it's my sawmill truck. I found this truck on Marketplace for $1,000. It ran good. It used to run good, I guess. It ran good, but it needed a lot of work. And as you can see, I've never really done any work to it. I put a key ignition in there because one of the notorious things about these are the ignitions going out. So I had to rewire all that junk. I had to 3D print some parts to make these windows work because they were dropped down into the doors. But right now the windows stopped working on the driver's side and it's the motor. So I think I'm hoping there's just a wire or something loose in there. And I'm gonna pull that door panel off real quick and let's try to get this window working. Because we're getting into the rainy season right now and we don't want the truck to fill up with water and get all moldy and nasty inside. So I got that figured out. The window is stuck. You see that piece right there? That is one of the things, the sliders that I 3D printed, and apparently it's bad again. These 3D printed parts, they work good when they work, but they don't last that long sometimes. All right, so we're gonna leave it like it is for now. We're gonna get this window rolled up, and we're just gonna leave it up for right now, just while it rains and stuff. I'll print that part out and pull it out and fix it. Right now we're just gonna roll this window up and we'll leave it up. I'm not really gonna spend any money on this thing. All right, one thing fixed today. All right, we're in the mood of fixing stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this battery terminal off this bobcat. Let's see if we can maybe rig this up a little bit just so I can use it. That ain't gonna be too hard to get off. Let's see what we can do to this thing. I think we put a washer on that backside maybe just to get it working. All right. That's about as good as she's gonna get. Oh yeah, I heard a spark. All right, got that crook up. Got that jerry rigged. Now I'm not gonna shut it off until I'm not planning on running it again because it probably is not gonna crank back up because that battery terminal is way too loose. But let's go move some logs real quick. Got that poplar on there. That thing is Goliath. It's a pretty big tree. I went ahead and shut the bobcat off. I can get it started if I really need it, but and look at this tree. And this is a smaller one. That's the bad part. That one's quite a bit bigger. But this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 and a half foot long. I can count because of these bunks, or I know they're 2 foot apart. And that short section is 1 foot, and that one is another half foot over. So let's get a measurement on this butt side. The butt is, well, it's 24 inches. Actually 24 inches, almost 25. And the small end is, small end is only 18 inches. It's pretty straight all the way down. Gets a little bigger here, and this butt here tapers right at the bottom. so it's pretty big on the butt. Either way, we're gonna get this thing cut down to a 12-inch wide can at least, and by whatever the height I can get it, which is probably gonna be about 16, 15 inches. And maybe we'll get 15, I'm guessing 15, maybe 14, maybe 16 boards out of it for our board and batten poplar siding. But I'm glad I got that on the mill today, because I've been wanting to cut that, and I'm going to make some slices on this. I'm not going to cut everything up today because it is Thanksgiving tomorrow. We're obviously not going to get a whole lot done today, but I am going to cut into this log, and we're going to see what the center looks like. I will show you that today, since we got nothing but rambling and firewood and other junk. So it's kind of one of those all over the place videos, but it's okay. Maybe you'll like it. Down here, I'll show you my pry bars. That's pry bar number 1. It stays on this side of the mill, and that's what I use to push against this log, to push it against the backstops when I need to. Because sometimes just rolling, you can't really roll over these backstops. And here's the others. That's one over here, and there's one right there. Now these are actually old tractor axles. My dad made these things years ago, and they are super heavy. But man, they work great. So I just wedge them in right behind the backstops there, or right in front of it, against the log. And when I use my winch, because the winch will climb, it will make this tree climb right over those backstops. Plus, if it's heavy, it'll just bend those things like they're nothing. I'd say if this mill ever had any kind of downfall, it will be the backstop designs, because they suck. I think the HD models have a little bit better. They have the wheel on top of them, and I've heard people say they suck too. But these right here, they work for small stuff, but the stuff I cut, a lot of times, big pines or anything heavy, it'll just crawl right over them and bend them. I love cutting poplar. It's so clean. It's such a clean wood. So that's what everybody uses to use it for paint gray cabinets and stuff. Starting to see some of that green come through, and this end's really wide. But yeah, super nice. We're gonna flip this over and try to square this thing up. And if you watch carefully, you'll see me using my pry bars here. I hardly ever film that process just because it's slow and it's a pain in the butt. Kind of gives you an idea of how much of a pain in the butt a manual mill can be sometimes, especially with these big logs. Sometimes I'm just better off to pick it up with a bobcat and flip it over and then throw it back on the mill. But with our starting issue, we don't really have that option. We do, but it'd be a pain in the butt too. know if you heard that nasty noise, but it sounds like I hit a nail or a rock or something. It come to a halt. It hit hard. What did I hit? Zoom in here and check this out. Look at all the stuff living in here. See the snails and the worms. And it's like a whole ecosystem right here in this log. Ants. Look at that, little snails. Centipedes. It's crazy, ain't it? It's like a whole world. Oh yeah, look at this blade. I don't know if I can zoom in and see that. See the teeth broke off? Dang, that was one of our good blades too. That thing is ate up. It's almost like I hit a rock. That's crazy. Look at this one, completely gone. Man, that was rough. Should dig in here and find out what that is. Look at that. Crazy, huh? Hey, you're being evicted. Well, since I wasn't planning on sawing today, I don't have the truck down here, or my chainsaw, or blades, or anything else. So I'm gonna walk up to get all that. I think we're just gonna leave that tree where it is for right now, and maybe tackle it maybe after Thanksgiving dinner, maybe the day after, I don't know. I'll get some video of it though. But we got a ton of those. I think we've got 30, maybe even 40 of those to cut. So it's gonna be a big process. I'm gonna get all that too. Film it all and let you know how these blades work out. They obviously don't work good against rocks and nails. That actually feels like a rock. I didn't see a nail in there, but it may still be a nail. But it destroyed that blade, which sucks. So I'm down to 9 new blades. It was cutting so nice too. Well, today has been one of those days we talked about before where no matter what you do, it seems like you get nothing done. And we got a few things done. We got the truck fixed, the window. We got the battery connector temporarily fixed. We have some firewood for when the cold weather comes. What else did we do? I don't know, a few things. We got some stuff done, but not what I really wanted to get done. But like I said, it is the holidays. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, so we're not gonna be doing a whole lot anyway. So I think this is gonna be pretty much the end of the video for now. I'll try to get one out Friday also. I didn't get one out Monday just because we were on the road all day Saturday and Sunday and didn't get back till Monday morning early around 4 a.m. But yeah, this is gonna be it for today. And don't forget, if you really want a sticker, just comment sticker below and I will send you one. I'll send you a message with an email to email, or you can look at my description. Email's there. You can email your email address and I will send you a sticker on the house. And appreciate you guys playing the game last week. And sorry none of you got it with the pry bars, but now you know. Okay, everyone, this is it for today. We want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays, and we'll see you on the next one.
Happy Thanksgiving.